Hi, my name is Becky, Socks for Mom. Welcome to my FlossTube. Well, it's been almost 3 months since the beginning of the year that I filmed a FlossTube, and life has just gotten in the way, as you know, but I have some finishes to show you today, and I have a lot of assignment stitching that I've been doing with my friends, and let's just get right on to it. This FlossTube is about cross stitch, and I have a bit of knitting to do because I've gotten back into the groove of that, and I've been working on a shawl for my mom, and I've been stitching one on for myself, and let's get going to this good stuff. So first up, in February, I finished this sweet little pillow, but I haven't totally finished it, as you can see. This is an Artful Offerings pattern. I got it as a kit at Country Sampler in Spring Green. Came kitted with this fabric. And I believe they changed the colors because I think this is darker than the original pattern, was quite bright. But it's super sweet, and I have a sweet little charm I'm going to attach to it right here when I'm finally finished. I made the mistake of allying a not wet, but slightly, ever so slight damp pressing cloth on it to press it. And the red bled. So be warned, I should have known better, but live and learn. Again and again, and again and again. So that is super sweet. And by the way, I'm sitting in front of this gorgeous quilt by Carol Crago, my friend. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is my red house sampler wall. I've moved out here into my living room because it has the best light today. It's a gloomy day. And my husband is gone, so I thought I could film out here. My other finish is something that I have taken a long time, not because I haven't wanted to stitch on it, but because I've just enjoyed every single stitch. This is A Perfect World by Tanya from the Scarlet House. It's been my very favorite design ever. It's stitched on Stars Hollow by R&R. In a perfect world, you will find me here with the birds and the flowers and the trees and the deer and the dogs. I can't read it backwards. But this is so totally me. I'm still a Colorado girl, as many of you know. I love being outside. I love enjoying nature. I changed one of Tanya's little Boston Terriers to white to represent my Westie. And I love that bold black bottom border there. I just have loved every single stitch of this. And I will probably stitch Dwelling Place, is it Dwelling Place? Whatever the one she designed right after this. The Kogut one. because I love it too. So it is finished. I have a board. I have some foam core to pin it and get it ready for the framer. I like to pin it myself. I'm a little persnickety about getting things really even. So that's A Perfect World by the Scarlet House. So I have a lot of assignments with my crazy friends, and we have gotten a lot accomplished doing it this way. So let me show you those. I will start first. I've already filmed this once, so I'm a little bit discombobulated now because I forgot to press the film button. Yes, I did press it this time. So now I don't remember what I said and what I didn't say. It's been so long and I'm so out of practice. So I'm just gonna start grabbing things. I all had it in order, but now I don't. So let me just start grabbing. So first up is The North Pole by Barrick. And I set the assignments on this one. I love this lanky Santa. He is so cute. And last month's assignment was to stitch the rest of his belly and his arm out this way, and his belt and his staff and these two deer. Now I pre-planned everything, so some of the crazy assignment girls are started from the bottom and they're working up. So he's a lot of fun. Love him, love him. We're talking about possibly finishing him up this next month to free up for some of our other things. Let me show you this. I'm stitching him on Antique Fishbone Corset by Nicholas Flamel. He has an Etsy shop. My piece of linen was gifted to me by my friend Susan, and it's 40 count, and I'm using the NPI silks. But there are a lot of people following the assignments on Instagram, so I will take a snapshot of each of the assignments as I finish them, so don't panic if you're following us. I will continue to post those snapshots each month for you, so you can continue along with that. Okay, the next one I'm going to grab is Folksy Thomas. By Teresa Kogut. I just love the colors in him. He is really hard to put away each month. So we may be finishing him up this month too. And I'm stitching him on 40 count flannel flower. A lot of fun. I'm going to make him into a pillow. Big pillow. And here are the colors for him. It's a mix of DMCs in Classic and Weeks over dyes. And I've got this fun little turkey boy, is what I call him in my Etsy shop. It's a boy riding a turkey. I'll put links to that shop down below. Another assignment we're working on is "And Heaven and Nature Sing" by Barrick. I've wanted to stitch this for years and years and years. I have in my whip pile, I have Dearie and Darling, which is this guy's mate and his little fawn. It's a spring piece, which is super cute. And here he is. He's on 36 count vintage butter pecan, I think, by Lakeside. And I did not get to my assignment this month, so I've got double duty in April. But that's okay, I'll get caught up. The funny thing is, I'm stitching all these Christmas things, and I'm not, we go to Denver every year for Christmas to be with our daughter, who's a nurse, because we usually have to flex our holiday a little bit since she's working during that time. And we usually leave mid-December, and I don't decorate typically because there's not enough time to really enjoy it. So I'm stitching all these Christmas things and probably won't put them out, or I will. No, I take that back. I will put them out this year for sure. Okay, let's see. I've got everything in and out of bags. I really apologize. Okay, the next thing is something that I started with. I'm trying to see if there's any more assignments. Okay. The next thing I started with Yvette on her birthday, and I also, Christy and Olivia, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, and Christy, Crosshatch Quilts. The three of us started it with Yvette, and Yvette gave us assignments, and Olivia has already finished hers because she got very excited and wanted to go for a finish really fast, finish hers up, and Yvette finished hers this weekend. Christy and I still have not, but we are still doing our assignments. So we're actually on time, and they jumped ahead. Just kidding, you guys, Yvette and Olivia. They were excited and they wanted to get it done. So I'll finish mine this coming month. I still have a little bit of the over one to do up here. But here's Adam and Eve. And I've started on the top story of the house. So that's all I have to do is the top story of the house. And the incredible pasture. This is Elizabeth Furniss, 1836, by Hands Across the Sea Designs. I'm stitching mine on 36 count Bee's Knees by Seraphim. I'm using DMC, and that's about it. She's gorgeous. I've loved stitching her with the girls. It's been a lot of fun. I think this is the 19th month. I have thread keeps of her in my Etsy shop. And that's Elizabeth Furniss. Let me see if there's one more thing I've stitched with this group of ladies. And that is the birthday start that with Christine, which this year was the big berry, Winds of Autumn berry. And we're not really doing assignments on this one, but Olivia and Yvette have decided to stitch it on the 13th and the 31st of each month. So I picked mine up last night since it was the 31st. And this is where I am. Just as long as it's done by Christine's birthday, which is the 8th of October. And then for my birthday, we started Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, which I will show you those two in a bit, Hawk Run Hollows. So I'm gonna pause because this isn't all of my assignment stitching. Just hold on a minute. Another stitch along I'm in with some friends is Olga's Stocking by Paulette Stewart. And I've always wanted to stitch this one. So my friend Katrina is giving us assignments. I'm stitching this with Pat. What do I stitch next? And Christine Hollis Hands Creates, or McMama, I forgot her, McMama Hollis? Is that your name, Christine, on Instagram? So we're stitching this together, and this is how far I am. I am stitching this on Vintage Purled Barley, which is what the pattern calls for. And this is how much I have. So that is one amazing stocking. And speaking of, here's all the incredible threads. They're a rat's nest, but there's a bunch of them. Boop, boop. There's a bunch of them. Speaking of my friend Katrina, her birthday is this week. Happy birthday, Katrina. And she had sent me this pattern a while back because she had two of them. And this is one of her birthday starts. She's starting a pattern a day this week. And I am making the two of us a bag for it, and I'm starting it with her this weekend. And I thought this, she sent me this fabric. I thought this would be real pretty for it. I think this is Blackbird. So I'm making this afternoon and getting it out to her today, and we will start this weekend. This is a Blackbird pattern called Their Song. It's a loose feathers. I have found that I love stitching things with friends and having those things on my wall. Not only do I love things by designers, their designs, but I also love to think of my friends when I look on my walls and who I stitch things with. That makes it all the more special for me. So I will remember Katrina's birthday for this. And I'll be talking about that in a minute. So in this month, I am going to stitch Texas in Flower Mound, Texas, which was really hard to get into. It sold out in 3 minutes. And I will be seeing some of my friends that I see down at Hill Country Stitchers. And one of the ladies there, Missy Lynn, makes these Missy Lynn bags. So I have kitted in there 2 of my other stitch-alongs that I'm doing with those ladies down in the Hill Country. And I'll show you those 2. The first one is Spot. I'm giving assignments for this to 2 of my friends there, and we're going to have a finish this month on it. I'm stitching in silks, and oh my goodness, it is so wrinkled. I'm stitching on 36 count Havana. And they're stitching in DMC, and I'm telling you, I like theirs better. Theirs is more vibrant. Mine is kind of dull compared to theirs. So I'm getting ready to give them their next assignment. But really, all we have left to do is the tree leaves right up here, which they will have done before the retreat. And then we have the tree down here, and we'll be finished. And I made the cute Spot thread keep to go with it. So Spot is almost done. I love him so much. He's been a lot of fun to stitch. So Spot, and the other thing I'm stitching with about, there may be 7 of us that are working on this together down there, is Every Opening Flower. I'm starting to get a glare on everything, so it's a good thing I'm almost done. By Brenda Gervais. And I'm not quite done with this assignment, so I need to finish it up the next couple days and give them their next assignment. And it's on my roller frame, so I'm not going to unroll it. So you can't really see the top row, but here's where I am. And I need to do his feather right here. And I think a vase right there, and I'm done. This is every opening flower. So I am taking both of these with me to Stitch, Texas, and then I'm hopping on a plane. My friend is taking me straight to the airport, and I'm flying to Denver, where my husband will already be with my little Westie. He will have driven ahead, and then we are going. We're going to drive 9 hours with my daughter and Brinkley to Zion National Park, where we have a cabin rented, and we'll be there all week and do some hiking and enjoy that gorgeous park. So I have something that Allison told me, Mom, you really should have a stitch that you leave here all the time, that you work on every time you're in Colorado. And so I found something that's perfect for that. I found this by the Scarlet House in the Pines. And it's perfect because our house up in the mountains was a log home that looked very similar to this, only this was shorter on this side. It's like a 2-story here, and this was longer on that side. So I'm going to leave this at her house, and every time I'm up there, I'm going to work on it. And I may keep it, or I may gift it to my sister-in-law, to the little cabin that we like to go stay in. We'll see, because it does look like my house. So I have it all kitted up with the straw and all the colors. And that'll be fun to work on while I'm in Zion. So that's a start that's coming up. And I'm going to move right into market. Whoops. I didn't go crazy. Since there's a glare, I'm going to have to take these out of the bag, so I apologize for the crinkly. I got this, Stitcher's Alphabet, and I got the cute little board that goes with it. And this is where you can get it on Etsy. And it came lickety-split. It came within the week. So that's the first thing. I got the market exclusive, the Proverbs 31 woman, which I love, Proverbs 31. I taught a Bible study on it a long time ago. And I have a thread keep that I think it floated out. I think it expired in my shop and I never put it back in, but I put it back in now. I'm gonna use this cute little board to show it. It is maybe that's not gonna show it. Let's see, maybe just my hand. It's a sheep. And it says on it, it says the same verse. She seeketh wool and flax, and works willingly with her hands. So the whole Proverbs 31 woman was a mother writing to her son about the kind of wife he should look for. And back then, of course, women spun wool and flax, and what am I trying to show you? Sorry about that. I have this perfect charm for it, the heart and hand charm. And the meaning of that is that she worked with her hands. She made sure that her family was clothed and was not lacking in the things that they needed. Made sure her family had everything they needed. Clothing, and all that. Food and all that. So the next thing I got, let me see if I don't have to take this out. There we go. Was Plum Street's America Welcome, which will go perfect with Live on Little. And then the other one is Tara Sullivan. Her birthday start that she's doing on April 8th is Vibrant Flowers by Kathy Barrick. And some of us on the Zoom call on Friday nights are going to help her celebrate and stitch it with her. And I contacted Kathy, and she's letting me make a thread keep for this. And it's at the print shop right now. I need to go pick it up this afternoon. So it will be in my Etsy shop the next few days. And I think I'm going to be stitching mine on flannel flower. I pulled DMC, so I'll show you the reds because it's mostly going to be, these are going to be the colors that you mostly see. These colors. Kind of goes with my quilt. Might have to, I might have to hang this on my red house wall over there. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go with DMC or the silks. I think these are gorgeous, so I may just stick with the DMC. And I've got flannel flower that I'll be doing it on. So Vibrant Flowers. And that is all my market haul. So I am going to pause. I'm going to go get my knitting, which will be really short and brief, and I'll be right back. Actually, I decided I am not going to show you my shawls progress today because shawls are the most difficult things to show because they don't really look like anything until they are blocked and finished. Because to show a shawl, for a shawl to look like a shawl, you have to pin it and stretch it out. You stretch it way out and pin it, and it's wet, and you let it dry and it stays in that shape. So it just, you wouldn't see much. So that will be it for today, friends. Thank you so, so much for bearing with me. I know I was less than exuberant on the second go round, but I appreciate you stopping by and seeing what I'm working on, and I hope you come back, and I hope you have a wonderful spring, and I really hope it doesn't take me quite so long to get back here to you. So take care, enjoy the weather wherever you are. I hope spring is coming your way. It is definitely here in Texas. So I will see you next time. Bye.